Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So today we have some actual solid news. It isn't a transfer rumour video, it isn't a fixture list video or anything like that. We do have some solid news and some absolutely brilliant news to get us started off in this transfer season. So Aiden Mcgeady is the first of the 4 contract rebels to sign their offered deals. So he has signed a 1-year deal with the club, and to me, out of those 4 of them, of course being Aiden Mcgeady, Luke O'Nien, Denver Human, Charlie White, a lot of people probably have top of the list, probably Charlie White, given the amount of goals he scored. But I think without Mcgeady, he wouldn't have scored, 17 of those goals. And Mcgeady, gets goals here and there himself. He performs single-handedly for the squad at times when we are playing poor. It is more than good enough for this league, and I've said it time and time again, regardless of his age, this man is a level above League One. I don't care what anyone says. And, given his age, you have to work hard and you really need to show, and you have more pressure on you when you're at that age, because if you're 20, 21 and you have a bad few games or even a bad season, a lot of people might say, we always got a bit of potential, give him time to bed in, give him time to do this. When you're at that age of 35, 36 like Haydn Mcgeady is, you have to perform on stage, because otherwise you're deemed deadwood, you're old, you're washed up. But he has been producing the goods time and time again for us, so I'm so happy that we've got this one over the line. But we'll have a quick look at the Sunderland statement for this Aiden Mcgeady contract signing. So the club have said Aiden Mcgeady will return to the Stadium of Light for the 2021-22 season after signing a new 1-year deal at Sunderland AFC. The 35-year-old winger, who returned to training on Wednesday, joined the club in 2017 and has made over 130 appearances in red and white, scoring a total of 33 goals. After spending time on loan with Charlton Athletic in 2020, Lee Johnson recalled Mcgeady to the first team squad immediately after his appointment, and the Republic of Ireland international dazzled throughout the remainder of the campaign. In just 31 league appearances, the wide man registered a league-high 16 assists and scored 4 goals, whilst also setting up Lyndon Gooch's Papa John's Trophy final winner at Wembley Stadium in March. After returning to Sunderland, Mcgeady said, "I'm pleased to have signed a new contract at the club and I'm looking forward to the new season. I'm happy at Sunderland, and since returning to the team under Lee Johnson, I feel that my performances have shown that. We all know what that ambition is for next season, and I've made no secret of the fact that I want to be part of the team that goes back up. My focus is to play and perform for Sunderland for as long as I can." Lee Johnson added, "We are delighted to welcome Aiden back to the club. I have a strong relationship with him on a football level, and I think he's produced since we've come in. A player of his age has to produce, and that's why he's here, to make other players better. I've not only been impressed by his output in terms of assists, but his buy-in to the philosophy and club identity." Now, Lee Johnson is absolutely right there, and he kind of almost touched upon the statement that I made earlier on, just before I read the statement. Because he is of a certain age, he has to produce. That he has no other option. You have to, otherwise you are, considered deadwood and what have you. But he's been absolutely amazing to get 16 assists in 31 games, and he was absolutely instrumental in the second half of that season. To get a good pre-season under his belt and work with the lads, and he is an experienced head as well. Someone who other players and young players, like Jack Diamond and other wingers. You got Hawks as well, who's a front man, a young lad. They can really look up to the likes of Aiden Mcgeady, because he does have a great attitude. Some people might not like him because he does have a sort of he doesn't take any shit. He says it how it is. Some people don't like that, but I prefer that personally. That's just me. And I think some young players do have to have that kind of attitude around them, because they have to be told as it is for players to improve. You can't sort of mollycoddle and baby players too much, otherwise they're never going to learn. So I think to have someone like that, someone who's experienced, who's done so much in his career, he's had a fantastic career, Aiden Mcgeady, and he of course cares for the club. He's bought into the club and in the area and what have you, and he loves playing for Sunderland. He loves playing on that stage. He loves playing at the Stadium of Light, and he's shown us time and time again why he has earned this 1-year deal. So of course we're still waiting on proper signings, and it's funny actually, because I was actually going to make a video today of me moaning like a bitch because of the lack of signings, but I'm not going to moan just yet. It's a happy day. Of course, England beat Germany just yesterday. Aiden Mcgeady has just signed a contract. So if you're excited about, of course, Aiden Mcgeady signing a contract, please hit the like button, and if you hit the dislike button, then a puppy will die, and that's on your head, not mine. But yeah, I was going to moan because I am becoming a little bit impatient. Of course, it's good to see, and I knew that some movement would happen today, given it's sort of D-Day today for the players that are out of contract. Of course, Aiden, Mcgeady, Charlie White, O'Nien, and Denver Hume. Now, I was asked on Twitter earlier on. I was asked which ones do I think will stay and which ones do I think will go out of those four, and I said I think Aiden, Mcgeady, and Luke O'Nien will stay. I think Denver Hume and White. I think White more so. White's definitely not signing, in my opinion. I would be insanely surprised if we get a notification telling us that that Charlie White has signed, and I would be very, very happy. Of course, I would. You know, I've slated him in the past, but you know, I've made no secret that I'd like him to stay. But I've also just said, you know, I wouldn't be heartbroken if he was to leave, because I just think with the quality of Mcgeady, I think that's kind of understated. Not necessarily understated or even underrated, but of course you need to give credit to Charlie White for putting those chances away, but some of the balls in and the quality of the crosses from Aiden Mcgeady, it puts it on a plate for him. And again, Charlie White has to put it in the back of the net, but you know, a lot of credit does have to go to Aiden Mcgeady, of course. But either way, yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if Denver Hume and White were gone. You know, Denver Hume, I really, really want Denver to stay, because I think he can really progress with us, and I've seen such massive improvement over the last couple of years with Denver Hume. I'd love to see him stay. I really, really am a fan of him. I know some people aren't, but I personally just am. But I do have a feeling that if a Championship club comes, you know, a young lad like him, I wouldn't blame him. I think he might go. Luke O'Nien, although I do know he has huge ambitions, he wants to eventually go to the Premier League one day. Whether that's going to happen, of course, that remains to be seen, and it's questionable whether that would ever happen. I don't know. But he also loves the club. He absolutely adores the club. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he gives everything, and he leaves everything on the pitch. And he's such a professional as well. And he is a good player, in my opinion. He's a good player. He can do a good job in any role that's given to him. So I'd absolutely love it if Luke O'Nien wants to stay as well. But yes, there is slight frustration from fans in terms of no transfer business as of yet. There's, of course, there's been sort of talk that we've been waiting for these contracts to go through, whether they're going to stay or go before we start really pushing it. But Lee Johnson did say last week in an interview, he said he was expecting signings to maybe start coming through the door this week. He said he's been having plenty of conversations with potential players over Zoom calls and stuff like that. And of course, we're now in a new era of Sunderland in terms of the way we work our transfer business. We're now heavily relying on a data-led approach, where we're looking, of course, statistics and certain data analysis on players and their attitude, how they work. You know, really in-depth analytics in terms of how a player performs on a regular basis. So it'll be interesting to see who they bring through the door, and it has to happen soon, in my opinion. It has to happen very soon, because I did say, you know, personally for me, we should have at least had a handful of players through before the first game of pre-season. And for me, we've, like Lee Johnson said jokingly, he said that we're pretty much going to have a five-a-side squad at this point. But we've had plenty of time, and hopefully we haven't wasted it. Hopefully we have just put a load of effort into this data-led transfer system, and we've got a line of players, and we've got a queue of players, hopefully, just waiting to come through the door now. Because if we're still at square one, you know, in a week or so time, a week or two, then we're screwed, because you need to have a good full pre-season with the new players that are going to come in, really get your philosophy and your approach nailed into the team, your tactics nailed down, and that's what a coach is supposed to do, of course, in Lee Johnson, who is a head coach, not necessarily a manager. But yes, so we really need players in and quickly. You never know. By the end of the day, we might have a few more signings in terms of the contract renewals, given that it is the 30th. Hopefully that is the case. You might see me again at some point today, if I can be bothered. But yes, that's it. Aiden Mcgeady has signed a 1-year deal. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care. Stay jamming.